Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another Destiny video. Now in today's video I want to talk to you about the hard mode which has been added to Crota Raid today, that is January the 21st, and I want to give you a quick run through on all the new mechanics. Just like with the Vault of Glass, when you went into hard mode, some of the encounters had some additional mechanics designed to make things a little bit more difficult, and Crota's End is no different. First up, this one came as no surprise, and this applies to the entire raid itself. Just like in the Vault of Glass, if you die during a particular stage, you cannot revive until you hit the next checkpoint. So for example, if you die in the Abyss, you're going to have to wait till your teammates get to the end, summon the bridge, and cross through to the next zone before you can respawn. Then the very first section you'll encounter is the Abyss. Now this is the section where you have to work your way through the darkness from lamp to lamp, summon a bridge at the end, and cross through into the light. Now during this section you will notice the Weight of Darkness debuff does increase a little bit quicker than in normal mode, plus at the beginning stage the Thrall do seem to appear in slightly larger numbers, but the most notable change is that there are a lot more mages. And you should probably pay close attention to those yellow life bar Thralls, the hallowed Thralls. If you get caught in one of their explosions, well yeah, it's not going to end very well for you, and they do take a few extra shots to kill. But aside from that, the Abyss encounter is pretty much what you knew before. When you successfully complete this section, the Oversoul Edict, which is the raid pulse rifle, does have a chance to drop. Then moving on to the next section, the bridge encounter. Now for the most part this is exactly as you knew it before. The main difference is that when you cross to the other side of the bridge, whereas normally a gatekeeper would spawn, the gatekeeper is now instead accompanied by a boomer. So you do want to watch out, it's not quite as simple as crossing over and hammering on that gatekeeper, you do also need to be mindful of what's around you. But aside from that, everything is pretty much as it was before, and as of the hotfix the other day, Bungie have removed all the cheats from this section, so you won't be causing any enemies to despawn on either side. You'll simply need to cross it in the traditional manner, and then complete it as it was designed. If you successfully get past this section, then the auto rifle, the Abyss Defiant, has a chance to drop. Then once you get past that section and run up the stairs, the hallway is the same as it's always been. You run through, destroy those two Shriekers and get through the door at the end to get to the chest, and then afterwards you drop down the pit. There are no changes there at all, other than the fact that if you die in that hallway there is no respawn timer, so if you thought you could get through the door and use that as an opportunity to switch to your other characters and open the chest, then I'm afraid it's not going to work that way. So drop down the pit and now you're up against Arekkz the Deathsinger. Again, for the most part, the mechanics for this fight still remain the same. The main things you need to note are as follows. The Deathsinger will begin her song a hell of a lot sooner, pretty much as soon as you walk out the door, so you're on a much tighter timer this time. And also those Shriekers that you need to destroy in order to take the barriers down, if you take too long they can respawn. So do watch out for that, but aside from that then obviously you've got to deal with the slightly stronger enemies, but everything else remains the same. Kill the Deathsinger, get to safety, wipe out all the mobs, and you complete that section. As it currently stands, no raid weapons have been dropped from this boss, but that could still change given that right now the raid has only been out for a few hours, and it may well be that someone just hasn't got that drop just yet. And lastly, moving on to Crota, the big one. This is a nightmare. Let me tell you right now, the changes that have been implemented have made things a hell of a lot harder. First up, for those of you that haven't done Crota Raid before or haven't fought Crota, then one of the main mechanics surrounding this fight are that Crota stops your health from regenerating, but there is normally an item called the Chalice of Light in the middle of the room, which you can then pick up, and when you hold it, it regenerates your health. In hard mode, that chalice is not there. So what that means is that your health regeneration is still stopped, but there is no means within the raid to regain your health. You can still obviously regain health using various other methods, for example if you're carrying Saurus Regime or Red Death, or if you have the talent in your skill tree, for example as a hunter, if I go and stab someone with Blink Strike or with my Arc Blade I can regain health, but any health regeneration will be controlled entirely by you and will not be given by the room itself or by the encounter itself. So to begin with, there is no chalice. On top of that, to make things slightly more difficult, one of the favourite places to do this encounter or to actually fight Crota is normally in the tunnel or the corridor down below. However, if you drop down there now, you'll notice a gatekeeper. Now the gatekeepers are the blue guys from the bridge encounter that you cannot kill with anything other than a sword. So that means that during this encounter, you don't want to be wasting your sword and killing the gatekeeper, so instead you just need to be mindful of it and avoid it wherever possible. You might actually find it easy to have one of your teammates kite it, and that way it leaves everyone else to be free. In addition to that, the two boomers or snipers or whatever you want to call them that spawn up in the tower, they are now mages as well, so they will take a few more bullets. Whereas in normal mode, a fully maxed out Icebreaker will kill them in 1 to 2 shots. This time round, one of those knights took 6 headshots from an Icebreaker. Also on top of that, if you remember that during this phase, when you take out the two boomers, there's also an additional sword knight that will usually jump out and land on the bridge alongside Crota, but in hard mode, that knight has been replaced with a wizard. Wizards are a pain at the best of times, so this makes things even more difficult given they do have some nasty long projectiles. And if you thought that sounded bad, then there's still more. In normal mode, if the encounter took you too long, Crota would enter in rage mode. But in hard mode, if you get Crota's health down to around 15%, he will automatically enter in rage mode. In other words, you cannot avoid it. At some point during that fight, you will have to deal with Crota during enrage mode, which means he will summon an Oversoul even if someone hasn't died. So there will come a point during the encounter where you'll need to deal with an Oversoul and down Crota so that your Sword Bearer can go and deal the damage even though he's enraged. If you do successfully overcome this section, then you have a chance of getting either the hand cannon, which is the Word of Crota, or the Fang of Arekkz, which is the scout rifle. There's also the raid shader called the Glowhoo shader, which looks like this. There's also a Crotazen raid sparrow, which looks like this. And there's also the chance to get the Crux of Crota, which is the item needed to upgrade the Eidolon ally into the Necrochasm. And there you have it. That is your lowdown on everything you need to know about the hard mode version of Crotazen Raid. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that like button down below to show your support. It does really help us out, and obviously don't forget to subscribe for daily gaming videos and much more Destiny coverage. Make sure you stay tuned to the channel tomorrow, because I'm going to be putting up a video showing you both my and my team's current raid loot, so I can show you all the weapons we've got so far. But I've also got a few more hard mode raid videos coming your way as well, so stay tuned for those ones. And also, if you have any comments or any questions about this, then do drop them down below, and I will do my best to answer them. And once again, thank you very much for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.